Here we are with what I thought would be my final patch. I'm going to turn it on real quick so you can get a solid look of what it looks like. This was going to be my final. I had taken my midterm, as you will see in this. I've refined it and allowed the controllability of it to be much more fluid. However, unfortunately, after talking to Tinapple for an extended period of time, we came to the conclusion that it was going to be far too difficult to implement the second portion of this update to my midterm project. That second portion, or that second update, was going to be projection mapping this onto a bunch of different screens or surfaces in an interactive environment. Unfortunately, the way in which this has been built does not allow us to projection map it. So I'll show you where we are at, and I'll tell you where we're going to go. So you can see here it's pretty motion responsive. It works really well, much better than my midterm. However, unfortunately, we cannot projection map this. So that leaves me in quite the conundrum with regard to how I'm going to do my final project. Therefore, to solve this problem, I'm going to take this entire patch here, and I'm going to I'm going to add in blob tracking. Obviously, you can see there's been a lot of changes that have happened in this patch. I'm going to show you the major one right now. Bam. Okay. So, compared to the last patch, I totally stripped this thing, took everything apart, and really rebuilt it. So, instead of having the whole sphere and all that we had in there in the previous patch for my midterm, I took all that out. I left the main component here. I simplified it to just one color piece, and then really added on to this motion sub patch. We're going to zoom in and check this out because this is where the magic is happening. So after about 4 different versions of this patch, I finally was able to implement blob tracking in computer vision successfully. Here I implemented Tinapple's blob tracking patch that he gave us in class, the demo. I took it apart and only took what I needed, so we'll just do a quick example of that. So that's like a semi-decent blob right there. It's not super great, but it would probably work for what we want to do. Welcome back. Here we go. This is the final run. We have everything all set up now. So I will turn this patch on and kind of explain briefly what we went through to get to where we are now. Also, shortly we have a buddy of mine named Luis coming in to test out the whole experience. So we'll go ahead and turn the patch on using this toggle button up here. Over here we can see the blob tracking. I've got a pretty good track. Move around. I mean, it's a pretty nice blob. You are seeing my phone in the screen there though, unfortunately. But take that away and we have a very solid track. So this newly implemented blob tracking is enabling the visualizer to follow you on the screen. We'll show you a quick example of that as well, and then we'll wait for my buddy to get here and we'll go from there. Also, just a brief overview of the patch here itself. Obviously you can see we've taken out a lot of what was there in the midterm version of this project. Going live. Actually, here's what we'll do. So there she is. You can see she's following me on the screen there. There's a little bit of lag. My CPU is probably working overtime. But there you have it. Back here, we have finally implemented all of the blob tracking. Well, actually, we've got all the blob tracking to track well. You can see me and Luis. Give a head nod, Luis. There he is. And I'm going to show you the quick settings here on how this is working. So we'll come in here. We've got it going right into the curves here. We've got a solid curve value. I'll show you the value of the curves here. We got 1,000 and 0.336, and that's given us a really solid display of the curves. Then we're coming over here and applying a really great blur to it, and obviously we have some really solid blobs, which is going to make the tracking and the action of the computer vision work extremely well with regards to having the visualizer follow you around on the screen. Boy Luis over here, at the podium. He's playing with the blob tracking, and we're going to really put it on display for you guys. All right, Luis, do your thing. He's going at it again with the second version here, really working this thing.